Hi, Gene here with today's thought, or I guess I could say breaking news, but it's not going to be breaking news by the time you see this video because I'm recording it a day before you're going to see it. But it's breaking news right now for me because I learned of this only a short time ago, shortly before recording this video. But before I give you this breaking news, that's no longer breaking news by the time you're hearing this, I just have to review something called the 13 Keys to the White House. Now, what this is a methodology for predicting the results of presidential elections, which president will win. Has nothing to do with polls. Well, some of these other methodologies, they do look at polls, but this one predicts months in advance often the winner, and it's been accurate almost 100% of the time. Now, that is why I place special stock in this particular methodology, but also because of what the methodology involves. Now, what Lichtman did was he went back to 1860, which would be the first election in which there was a Republican and a Democrat candidate, because it was the first election. Lincoln was the first Republican president. It was the first election after the formation of the Republican Party in the 1850s. Anyways, so what he did was he looked for certain factors, historical factors in play in every election from then until the 1980 election to find some commonalities and what the results were of the elections, depending on what these factors, how these factors were playing out going into the election. He came up with what he calls the 13 Keys to the White House, which are really 13 positive statements about the candidates to the election and the economy, so on and so forth. And I'll link to it so you can read to what all the 13 keys are. The point is, though, that he found that if these positive statements, if 5 or fewer are false, the incumbent party will get another term. It doesn't matter who the candidate is. That's the important part. If more than 5, so 6 or more are false, then the challenger will win. And again, it doesn't matter who the candidate is, except insofar as there are a couple of factors, whether the candidate, the incumbent party's candidate is charismatic. If he's charismatic, that's true, then that's in their favor. If he's not charismatic, then it's false and it counts against. And then there's another one for the challenger, which is the opposite, that the challenger is not charismatic. If the challenger is not charismatic, then that is a positive point that's true, and it helps the party in power. Now, if it's the other way and you have a charismatic challenger, then it helps the challenging party. So you see how it works, and there's other ones about what's GDP, whether in the midterm election before the presidential election, whether the incumbent party gained or lost seats in the House or lost control. No, I think it's just gained or lost seats. So you see, and then there is one more about the candidate, which is whether the candidate for the party in power is the incumbent president. In other words, so looking at 2024, if Biden runs again, then the candidate for the party in power is the incumbent. That points in the Democrats' favor, no matter what shape Biden is in when he runs. That's why Lichtman is saying that the Democrats, they should urge him to run no matter what they think of him, because if he doesn't run, then that triggers one of the 13 keys to false, and it's going to hurt the Democrats. So, and I'm going to get back to this in a moment, but actually I'm not going to get back to it. I'm going to go to another factor, the one I want to talk about today, based on this breaking news. That's not breaking news by the time you see this, but there are these 13 factors, and one of the factors, just have to look here, there is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. So that means that Biden, right now, until I got this breaking news, it looked like that Biden for sure would be the candidate, that there would not be any serious challenge from another. I mean, somebody else might challenge and try to, primary him, but that these weren't serious challenges. But that just, I think, could have changed just maybe an hour ago, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just formally announced his candidacy for president of the United States in the 2024 election. Now, I just watched, I'm putting up a photo here so you can see there now. He's way in the distance, but that's not the important thing looking at him. What's important is looking at the crowd. He got a pretty good crowd there, but if you do listen to him, and I'd advise you to, you'll hear that he's very articulate, very forceful, and he's saying exactly what the left, the far left, which is pretty much the Democratic Party these days, wants to hear. And for one thing, I could predict in the primary debates, if he's on the stage with Joe Biden, it depends how badly they want Biden to run, because he's going to give him a real run for his money. I mean, just Biden can barely get a coherent sentence out. Robert F. Kennedy, on the other hand, just listening to him for just a minute or so, very articulate, very forceful. Plus, don't forget, two things. Number one, he's a Kennedy. Number two, he's the son of Robert Kennedy. He's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So Robert Kennedy, very popular. I mean, he ran for president himself before he was unfortunately assassinated, sadly. But there is. So that could be. We have to see now. He has a challenge, and seriously, some of these are value judgments. So it says there is no serious contest. So we have to see how serious it is. But it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to win the nomination. It just has to be serious. And it could even be serious enough that this is what happened in 68. Yeah, that's when Robert F. Kennedy challenged Lyndon Johnson, and there were other challengers, I believe. Anyways, LBJ just decided it wasn't worth it, and he dropped out. He didn't even run for a second term. So this is what I'm talking about. We'll have to see, and we'll see how it pans out. But this is definitely, so far, at least a potential negative for the Democrats in general, and for Biden specifically, if this turns into a serious challenge, which I see it could be. That's my thought for today. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. If you could subscribe, that would be great. But I look forward to seeing all of you again. Bye.